No problem. University of Peradeniya, that's in Sri Lanka. And I was also one of the Community Solutions Fellows from Sri Lanka in 2018, which meant I got to go to US and train there for 4 to 5 months. And I think that benefited me a lot. I was in Wisconsin at the Wisconsin Community Services. So, and I think it was during 2021. There was a course called AV Comics, which was hosted by the Department of State. And I applied, got selected, and it was all about comics making. And I fell in love with the entire process of it. And what my workshop is going to do is try and introduce everybody to Pixton, which is an online comics making tool. I had fun with it. I really had fun with that course, which was wonderful. And I hope you have fun with me during the workshop also, because, the main purpose of making comics is to have fun as well as make it an experience. So shall we get started on this? And one more thing, I should mention this because I did this workshop once before, and somebody raised this question. So let me answer it before it gets raised. I do not profit from introducing Pixton. It's totally voluntary. So it's not anything that's profit-based as such. So a very quick question to everybody in the audience. How often do you use comics in your classroom? I mean, I assume you're all English teachers, okay? So if you're not, I'm very sorry. But do you use comics in your classroom to teach? Okay, hand Iris is okay, so really, okay. I'm getting some responses. Good. And not much. All right. Yeah, my students read them also, Nelly. So the next question is, I mean, you can unmute yourself and let me know also. Why not? I mean, comics are great. My students love them also. So yeah, young learners. But so the question is, why not use more comics? What's the problem with this? Any reason to not use comics? Because I'm trying to get ideas from everybody here. I guess it's one way of saying that it's not academic. Okay, and yeah, well, Nelly, well, and sometimes people just tell me it's a bit too much of trouble when you start drawing comics by hand. Nobody likes drawing a lot of panels of comic. So they just basically, well, school is not supposed to be fun. That's true. Actually, I don't use comics much. That's right. Appropriate materials. That's true, also true, Basma. And, I actually didn't start using comics in my classrooms until I switched to online classes, which was in 2020. Until then, as you said, it just didn't occur to me that there was something that's freely available, that I could just get my students to make comics in class to express their ideas. So for those who are not familiar with the Access Micro Scholarship Program, just give me a second. I'm going to silence my phone. Sorry about that. The group Access students are usually from 13 to 18 years of age. So I would say they are teenagers. And I also, when I first tried to introduce comics to them, there is a bit of an eye roll as well, like, oh, comics are for kids. But once they got into this, they really did enjoy the process. So what I'm going to do in today is introduce Pixton, show you how to make an account, how to make a class, how to make an avatar, and a few other options, and also some lesson ideas, which Pixton actually provides. So that's really great. Okay, so let's let me introduce Pixton to you. I'm going to do a screen share. Hopefully my connection is strong enough for me to do that. So when I first started using Pixton, it was in its exploratory stage, and now they have really made the website educational friendly. I'm just sharing the link in the chat for anybody who's interested in visiting the site. You will probably have to do that. So this is my account for Pixton. I actually had a paid licensed account, well, until it expired. And I realized the free account is actually not bad. It allows me to do a lot of the things the paid account does. So if you are an educator and you cannot convince your school to buy you a paid Pixton account, the free account will do just as well. So moving on. And if you think I'm saying so at the beginning a lot, that's my go-to default word. I don't usually do workshops for TESOL. Well, there are a lot of things teachers can use, such as lesson ideas. There's an interactive rubric. The lesson ideas are for constructing lessons. Okay, that's going to take a while. Relationships, asking for help. We'll be doing some of the activities in our workshop. And there are a whole lot of things. So first thing you would have to do once you, let's get started into this. So the first thing I usually do is, well, log in. I have logged in using my Gmail account and registered myself as an educator. And once that happens, I get these 3 tabs in Pixton: dashboard, classrooms, and my comics, which are comics I usually have made. So, okay, so let me just show you some of the finished comics from my students before we proceed any further, because you have to get an idea about what the end product is going to look like. And just give me a second. I'm trying to do the screen share, and for some reason, okay, this is really weirdly embarrassing. Just give me a second, please. And if you have any questions that I have not just raised until now, please let me know. One of those. So for our, and you know, I actually was going to do this as a joint workshop with my friend Yulia, but she could not join today. She's a teacher from Tyumen University in Russia. And we actually did a joint project with her adult students where they made comics to tackle world issues and to raise awareness. And I must say the adult students, because her students were over 18, did create some really creative comics. So I don't think it's an age barrier per se. I think it's about how interested students are with creating comics. So these are some of the comics my students have made. Let me try to show you again with the screen share. So for example, okay, I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I am at home and people do not realize it. Wait, that is very, okay. So these are some of the comics my students have created. And this one is about COVID-19. The other one is about, I do have a feeling that was about a natural disaster of some sort. And that was because of the greenhouse effect. Also, people create comics. This was one of my earliest comics about wishing I had superpowers. And it lets you get really creative. These I sort of created with my PowerPoint presentations and comics. So it's got its limitations, but it's not bad. Let's get started on actually creating our comic. Since it's a workshop, I would really like everybody to join in the process of making comics. Yeah, it's mobile friendly. You can use your cell phone or your laptop or anything to make your comics as such. So first thing I would do if I have students is I would go to my classrooms and create a new classroom. The paid account allows you to make more classrooms than this. The free account has a limit of about 4 to 5 classrooms. So what I have done is I have already created a classroom for the TESOL workshop. And if not, I can just create a classroom and choose the classroom name. And when you create a classroom, if you want to change something, you can come here and edit classroom details. So let me just close my video because I think it allows for a better screen sharing experience. I get to name my classroom. I get to select which grade the students are going to be in. And well, I just chose computer tech, but I could also choose any subject the class will be dealing with. And as you can see, it's not just English. There's science, computer, English, history, world language, any and everything. And now we have the option of getting the students to make avatars. And I have chosen all the options of showing wheelchairs, hearing aids, non-binary genders. If you feel uncomfortable or if your classes do not conform to that, you can actually remove these options. Should I show weapons and conflict? If I would not show that for my younger students, but for my older students, I mean, I might remove weapons and conflicts and smoking and revealing outfits. But gender and sexual expressions, really? Okay, so that's a new addition. That was not there last month, but since we are all adults, I'm going to select all these options for my class. That is our workshop. And if I want to add a student to my class, I would come here, click. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to click Sandy and add her as a student. And just click continue. If I have a list of students, I can actually make multiple selections. And when I actually register a student into the classroom, I get a link for the classroom here. And well, I get to copy it. And this is the link I share with my students when they want to log into the class. And each student gets a little code, which is their name. So what I did was I took the registration sheet for the workshop and added everybody's names into this class. Well, I don't have everybody at the moment. And I do have I have another example student here. So what I would like you to do is I'm going to share the link with you and your login name. Please go ahead and log into Pixton through the link, and you get instructions to create your avatar. That is your representation. I always have fun with it. This is me. I know. I get to choose my pose, my face, well, my full body, clothes, a lot of the things. And I can talk about this, but I think it's more fun when you create your own avatar in this. So if you haven't tried it, I want you to try it. That's why we are at the workshop. Let me share the link. This is going to be your link. And once you click the link, they will ask for your login. And since I have created individual logins for everybody who registered for the workshop, please let me share the ones I do have. So I would like you to click on the link and then log into your Pixton class and make an avatar. So Baba, what was the name you registered under? Because it's easy to find certain names, and some names I'm like totally not familiar with. Baba? Is it Baba or Baba? Do I know who you are? What was the name you registered with for the Pixton workshop? Well, okay. So when my students do that in my classroom, I kind of assume they have been kidnapped by aliens. Okay, so Basma, I think this is your login, so that's yours. Hend, I remember you because you were also there. So this is your login. It's for you. So please click on the link, use your name and these numbers to log in and start making your avatar, please. It's a very quiet workshop. It's quieter than some of my classes. Nelly, I remember you. Okay, because I remember the name. Let's see. This is yours. Right, and I think that's it. The three of you, please go ahead and Sandy, do we know who Baba is?
No, I think if you want to talk, Baba, can you unmute your microphone?
Yeah, just wondering because.
Yeah, I think we're okay if we unmute microphones and videos if people want, because we're a small group. There's only 7. Baba, if you're there, can you?
What was the name you? Oh yeah, you're Doha Baba, I think.
Yes, yes, that's it.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, it might be easier. Yeah, I think we're okay, Inosha, if you guys want to put your videos on, we just worry about too many, but we're a small group, so go ahead and, unmute and feel free to converse. Okay, over. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Baba, I think I registered you as Doha because I thought that was your first name. Sorry about that, if that's your second name.
No problem.
Okay, so if you click on the link, it will ask you to log in, and then you can start making avatars. I got Hend. Hend has completed her avatar. That's great. It's a small class. Okay, I hope you can create your own avatars. And if you have any questions about this while we are doing this, please ask.
Inosha, one thing I noticed when I click the link, it takes me away from Zoom. So maybe
Yes.
copy paste it so that they can still remain in the Zoom. That's just,
right.
I wasn't aware of that either because I just tried to go there. So just, yeah, if you copy and paste the link, that way you can stay in Zoom and then you just have another window open.
Yeah. Okay, I think I pasted it in the chat.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so you have to take that off and like copy it on the browser. Okay.
Well, no, it's fine to copy in the chat, but when other people are accessing it, if you click directly on the link, it works. It took me out of the Zoom, so because it's the same window. So better to just open another window so we don't lose everybody.
All right. Okay, I
Does
think
that
I
make
understand.
sense? Yeah.
Yes. I think the participants should do that, right? Not me, or is it me who should open another window? I'm actually logging through the Zoom app, so it doesn't happen for me.
Right. But if it does say you're leaving Zoom, then just copy and paste it and open up a new browser window. And that way you don't leave the Zoom meeting. That's what happened to me. So, and it could be different for everybody. I know, it's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So I have a couple of, I have Hen, it's Hen, right? Hen has made an avatar, others give it a try, because that's half the fun of it. And Sandy, if you want to make your own avatar, I think I have your login somewhere. Let me see. Sandy, it's 8283. Let me.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I might as well it's 5 a.m. here, so that's okay. I just will have fun. My coffee maker just woke up to make me coffee.
Oh, that's good. Well, lucky you.
Yeah. Okay. So mine is 82. Thank you.
So I have 50% of battery left. Hopefully we can hold on. If not, I'll switch computers. This is also mobile friendly. And you must have noticed when I showed you, I made a login for every person who registered for the workshop. So I guess if you know anybody who registered, ask them to drop me an email or something, and I could definitely share their logins also. Or you could just make a free Pixton account. Just give me a second. My door is like wide open there. So let me just close the door and come, all right? While everybody's making their avatars. Right, I'm back. So Hendy is the only person who has made an avatar. Others, not so much. Others not so interested. Okay, I got some. Yes, it does give a lot of options according to your religious wear and things like that. I really like that. Also, I get a lot of students who don't speak much in class. And when I ask them to express an idea, it takes them a long time. So good. Okay, so I can see, let me do a screen share now so you can see what the classroom looks like. These are the students, well, the participants of my classroom who created their avatars. I think it looks good. And okay, so if you're seeing my battery saver, that's because I am definitely trying to get my battery to last a little longer. All right. So others it would be great if you give it a try. And I think we just lost Nelly as well. Maybe she left the room. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, Inosha, yeah, Nellie, Nellie was, because she needed to go check. We've got some sessions running, so.
No
But she
problem.
apologized. She's not going to have any fun, just me.
Yeah, all
I'm
right.
finishing my avatar.
Okay. So the problem is I was expecting a few more because then we get to do a lot of group activities and all. So I guess we'll do individual activities for a change. It's good. I actually do not like group work with total strangers sometimes. So it works. All right, moving on to this. So once you have created your avatars, there's this really nifty option called class photo. So the class photo lets me take photos of everybody who's a student together. It's kind of nice because you get to pick some themes. You get to be superheroes. Yeah, I'm not very happy with that one, but it's okay. Or fairy tale themes. I like fairy tales. Yeah, that looks cool. Yeah, and Uttam was one of my students from a previous class that I kind of kept because I liked some of his work. So that is Ramadan for us. Yeah, I know my avatar has this really weird expression because I was going May, Easter. So once you have taken your photo, you can download it and share it with everybody, which I kind of like. So let's see. Yes, that's right. We get to share the photos. Thank you. And you also get to make printables because, well, especially here in Sri Lanka, we don't have a lot of what do you call this, computers and all those things in our classrooms. So once in a while, we just need to start our, well, we'll need to kind of take our stuff without the computer. I'm actually trying to log into my other laptop because I'm running low on battery for some reason here. Just give me a second. That is a problem. In case anybody is wondering, we are experiencing a power cut because our country has kind of run out of a lot of things like petrol and diesel. Yeah. So if I just drop out of this, I might join from a different Zoom account. Yeah, I think me trying to watch me switch my account is going to be more fun than anything else. So we have 7.5 hours of power cut, power outage, where the government does not give us electricity because they do not have enough fuel And right now I'm supposed to get power at 6. That was 6 minutes ago. I'm not seeing, it does not seem to be happening, right? So I'm just logging into my other laptop just in case I have to switch. So I can be ready to switch. All right. I will return if I lose power. Okay, moving on. Let's take a look at how to make a comic. So once you have created your classroom, you get to create your own comics. These are my comics. So you will have a panel like this, which says my comic. And if you want to create a totally new comic, just click new comic, give yourself a name, and continue. So this is what I want to do. This is a comic I started on yesterday as for demo purposes. If you start a comic, you can just save it and come back to it later, edit. Right, so the very first panel, usually, let me remove this panel, yes, is usually something blank. You don't get a character or anything like that. You get a white blank panel like that with a lot of background. Now, this is where the teaching comes in. Now, for example, if I want to do a comic where I teach my students something about biology, I get a lot of background pictures, which is related to human anatomy. So what I would do is maybe I would pick a, so some of these, as you can see, are in the paid pack. And some are actually free. So if they have the little clock on the top, they are from the paid pack. And there used to be some free, but apparently now biology is totally, well, you need to pay for it. However, let me pick a nice background or a theme. Say I am going to pick, okay, it seems, can I pick that? Okay, no. Oh, wow. These days, a lot of these are locked. Before they used to not be, but well, let's say I found a theme I like. Let's say let's say I want to add a background. I'm just scrolling down to see if any of these backgrounds are free. It seems no. Well, guess what? Then I have to upload a background from my own collection. I would find a background which I think is nice. Maybe a home background. I would probably download this picture. This is for educational purposes, so let's do this. And wait, I'm going to download this. Hopefully, save image. All right. I'm going to save this. All right. That's really the wrong, the Pixton, right? There it is. In my Pixton folder. And I can come here and I can actually upload the image later on. And we'll do that later. This is from one of those ones I did. So Pixton background. And yeah, as you can see, I use it a lot. So I have a lot of background. Oh, really? I can't upload now. So I'm very embarrassed because I was able to do that last time. But once you have, really, Pixton, don't do this to me today. Okay. So let's say I am going to choose a blank background because apparently that's what I can use at the moment. But sorry. Totally unrelated, but I got power. I got electricity. And this is me cheering me getting electricity in the middle of a workshop. I'm so sorry. I was so worried that I would not get electricity, and now I do. I'm like, oh, that's a relief. Back to the Pixton. I have chosen, let me choose a white background for the time being. I'm going to choose a character for my comic because I want to tell a story. And since these are all my students from different classes, they have all been there. So I can actually pick one of them to tell a story. Or I could just pick a man, a woman, a teenager, teacher. So this is where we can actually use this to tell a story. Now, let me see. I want to tell a story about a teacher. Can I? Why is this person? No, actually, why is this happening? Because I actually made a comic yesterday. Why am I getting a paid back? All right. So, let me select one of my characters. She's Abhimani. Now I have to give her a dress. She's one of my students. So let's say they don't actually have Sri Lankan dresses here. They do have a lot of Indian dresses. Okay. So I was trying to do that. It's not going to work. All right. So now I am going to add another character. This is what happens when I have the totally free version, I assume. So now I have two people in my comic. I get to change their focus, which means I get to change the way they interact. Like, do I make them close up? Do I make them further, make them walk off screen? So a lot of the actions are available. I also get to do sort of a dramatic lighting between the two. It's great for comics. And well, if they jump on a table, that's going to be, no. I think I'm going to stick to that. That looks fun. After that, I get to give them some speech bubbles. So she's going to say, I have no idea why I'm just saying, okay. So speech bubbles, I can make it speech, I can make it thought, I can make it shout. So they can actually just shout out conversations or even a whisper. And I can give them facial expressions. Obviously, these two are falling for whatever reason it might be. So I have a feeling they're just going to have normal expressions at the moment because it seems this is locked, which is really strange. No. So they're going to have neutral expressions for the time being. And some of their movements. Be able to switch them around so they're facing different directions. And then I can add another panel. And this panel would give me a little more, give me another chance to tell the story. If I want to just continue this, I would duplicate the panel. So basically, I get to create a comic where I can change them a little by little. All right. Okay. So please go ahead and see if you can explore the options for creating comics. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Yeah, Inosha, just to clarify, so you want us all to go now to Pixton and kind of play around and create something?
Yes, it would be great because as they explore, if they have any problems, they can ask now. As
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go have fun right now.
Yes, just explore the options.
Okay, thank you.
All right. It is a little limited when you're using the free option, but you still get to do a lot of the things like add movements and all that. Pooja, I did not see you join earlier. I actually made a Pixton login for you as well. So let me see if I can find it. In case you're wondering what it is. This is the classroom code for you. And here is your login name. I saved it as Pooja64235. And again, if you have any questions, you can ask. Yes, I know the free option is not the best, but it does have some nice things as well. Well, I don't know how many are in the room and how many have buzzed off to look at Pixton. So this is me. I'm just starting a new comic.
Yeah, Inosha, I think we're all playing with Pixton. It's fun.
All right. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, so we're going back and forth, but yeah, it's fine. So I'm assuming with the free version that they do not allow you to put the backgrounds in?
Actually, they did, because what I did was I just said new comic and I said demo 2 for some reason.
Okay, because I'm not finding any backgrounds that are free.
Oh, I think you just try adding a new comic and I all of a sudden got all these options.
Okay, okay, I'll do that.
It might be because this is my account and I logged in. It's free, but it's still Educator. So if you're a teacher and you make your own account.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. And then also for the characters, I'm only getting the people like from our group. So should we be, are there other characters or is it just the characters of people who've made, yeah, see, you're getting all that.
Yes, it's still a free account, but I think when I just log in as Educator and try to use it, see, I get all these characters. Okay, and they're not locked.
Right, yeah, all mine are locked. So just something good to, but you know, once you get in and do students just join your class, but could you have your students create their own accounts as students?
They can, as long as they have a Gmail account, they can do that.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that helps because that way they may have more options. Because pedagogically, this is amazing. There's so many things you can do with it.
This is the first time I actually used a free account, so I didn't realize, not first time, but for a demo purpose, and I realized the shortcomings for a free.
تنجم تبعثهم الميل مثلا بتاعي من هنا البورتابل وتحلوه على الكونت بتاعك.
Yeah, Basma, do you have questions?
Okay, so I think the best thing for everybody would be to create their own Pixton account, and then they get to create their new comics. When I try to edit it, everything just gets a little locked, but if you plan it out, you can create it. Oh, no, it's not. I can actually do that. See? I just created a background with a cat. I get to be the president. Okay, I could go to ancient Egypt. And I get a whole lot of characters. And they are not locked when I am just using my account without making a class. I should also be able to change their clothes. I can also change things like their hair. All these options are available in the free version. So I would say let's encourage our students to make an account, and if we can monitor them. So I think that totally takes out the, that's better. Yeah. I think this was locked before, but you get to do these facial expressions, which I really liked. And the actions. So one of the things I actually do with my students is allow them to create their own superheroes or with their things. So I think, yes. Are you sure? Because before, my students had most of the options I have like this, but I think they have locked it for classrooms if it's not paid for. So each person gets a free account and they can definitely have fun with it. And though they say you can monitor them. So the good thing about having a classroom is I think you get to monitor all their comics at the same time. But this is mainly an educational tool, and there's nothing really graphic or really bad about it, which is why I liked it. Let me see. Let me just stop sharing and let's see. I think I have to go to and see. TESOL workshop. So I get to see student comics. And that's what happened. I think once, if I am a student, it kind of gives you some options.
It's there. That says, yep. Very
but
nice.
if you create your own account, you get to have more free time and explore some.
Right.
Like this is what my students used to be able to do.
Right. Right.
In my classmates, I think you can share these or download them, or you could get students to create an account and have them work on a group project on somebody's shared device. That's what I usually do. Even when I make them individual accounts in their classroom, I would put them into a breakout room and say, use one person's account to create a comic. So one person does the screen share and other people kind of.
Right. Well, what else I was thinking, Inosha, and everybody else may want to comment on this, is when you do it, what we're doing now, it really focuses the students less on, they get caught up in the creativity and it's fun. But if you really wanted them to focus, like, we've been talking about the change to daylight savings time, and everybody had a week of bad circadian rhythms. We were exhausted. So, you could actually pose a prompt, and then the expression would be in the Pixton, and then it just becomes really fun, and they're using their English, and they're so engaged. So and if they don't have so many features to play with, then they can focus more on the language, but they're still able to personalize. So I think this is amazing, even in a simple form, it's amazing.
Yes, I'm kind of disappointed that the classes don't get the full option, which they did. They might have removed it because it got so popular recently. But you could also, one thing I sometimes do with my students is download them and put them into PowerPoint slides. And then they get to do a presentation with their comics. They just download the panels and put each panel into a PowerPoint slide. And sometimes it's a story which they present to the classroom.
They can also create a book with, it's free, Book Creator, collaboratively or individually.
Yes, that's a great idea as well.
Yeah, mashups are amazing. Nice. Inosha, did you see Hend has a question? Did you see that if each student creates his or own account? I think you answered that one. Is it possible to invite classmates? Okay, yeah, you did. Just double checking. So everybody, yes. If you want to mute your mics, unmute and ask questions. Inosha, is that okay? I think just because we're a smaller group,
definitely,
so
please do.
And it's we still have a half hour left, so you've got a lot of time.
Yeah, if you actually, I was expecting a slightly larger group, but
so were we. I know. I think with everything happening, it could be a myriad of things,
including power cuts. Yeah.
So people will be able to go back and watch what you've done and benefit from this. So it's fine.
So another thing I liked about, apart from Book Creator, when you put stuff onto, say, PowerPoint, you can bring outside objects and just plant it all over. And you get to edit stuff from the student perspective. And
Well, I do have another question for you, just because where I work at the Defense Language Institute, we teach 23 languages. And I actually am doing advanced ESL because we do a lot of translation interpretation. Do they, with the paid version, are there characters like we're talking about cultural dress. So if you wanted to do something cultural and have your students maybe, create some comics, in the target language culture, and, they could definitely write in that language, get practice in the second language, not necessarily in English, or, vice versa. So are those, well, I guess if you could download, you could actually have them find culturally appropriate costumes and things like that.
Actually, there is this, these are the content packs you get when you are actually, so let me just show you, because one of the content packs which I had, well, I missed that, was all this like reconciliation, 4th of July, ancient China.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
So one of the things
yeah,
you could do is you could pay for the paid version for a short time,
sure,
and download the packs. Like,
and then you get to keep them?
well, I mean, you could use them as backgrounds for something else. I mean,
right. Oh, okay.
You can make comics with them, or just have panels with the backgrounds and download them.
Right.
And yeah, but each individual account gets most of these things.
Right.
Just that as a classroom.
Right.
And my problem with smaller students is you can't monitor them sometimes, I think. That's why.
Right. Well, hopefully you can get your institution to support it too. This seems like it would be a worthwhile investment to have that. But of course, I can't spend other people's monies. I have enough trouble where I'm at.
No, I had this for, we did make a lot of comics with it. We had fun. But I think the problem is I am one of the very few teachers who uses it in Sri Lanka, and basically.
Really?
I'm just trying to see what happens if I make another comic. There might be a limit. But okay, so these are locked. It was not locked before, so I think it depends on how many comics I make.
Right.
Oh, and I don't know whether people get creative with what is it? Okay, here. So here, this is sometimes I feel like I'm harping on PowerPoint, but most of the time it's free. You don't need internet, and most computers here comes with it. So when we have problems with connectivity, we are like, okay, we'll use PowerPoint. So something I discovered was you can download these and make little movie clips with it. So, as well, because you can just transform it into GIFs.
Yeah.
Okay, so does anybody have any questions? If not, I feel like we could wrap up also, because it's a pretty small panel. What do you think, Sandy?
I think that is totally up to you. I'm having trouble sharing my screen. So what I'm going to do in the chat, because it shows links, but yeah, it's really, if there's no questions, if you'll just bear with me, I'm going to put an image in the chat that has those links, again, only because I'm unable to share my screen. So yes, now there is, do your students use it on their smartphones? Did you see that question?
No, I did not. And yes, it's actually smartphone friendly. It's got the sort of the tools will shift a little to the left, I think. But you can use, most of my students have smartphones because all the access students were given a free Samsung for their, it's an Android actually. So for their classes from the embassy on loan for 2 years. And it's not the best. I mean, it's not what I would buy for myself because we were on a budget.
Got it.
But they can use it for Pixton. So I'm sure most of our regular phones will be all right for that.
All right, so yeah, I'm trying. Anyways, I'm trying to get this. I do want, is it okay? I'm going to try and share my screen again so I can show everybody that final slide. Does anybody have any more questions or need a little more time for Inosha? This has been really a wonderful session. I think we all got a lot out of it, Inosha. Thank you so much. I did.
Okay, thank you so much. I
I have
wasn't
some
sure.
new ideas now. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm not
anybody
sure.
else?
I hope so. I hope you had it didn't go quite as much the way I planned, so I'm sorry about that.
No, Inosha, you know what, when we're doing, I mean, I think we've all, I do have a question for everybody. Have you, over the last 2 years because of COVID, I think we've all become Zoom experts and we've dealt with technology breaking down, like you said, the electricity. So I think everybody is well aware of the limitations, but it does, we made it work. I think, you know, we found a way to really get some amazing professional development and certainly what you've been doing. So any other comments? Yes, thank you. It was.
Thank you. And